Hi everyone, this is Wormeck here, bringing you this episode of the Wormhole. This week we're taking a look at Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams. This is a game brought to you by the developer Black Forest Games. It's an indie platformer action game with some kind of cool mechanics to it. So I've already gone through the first tutorial level here so that I would have a general idea and could kind of show you a little bit better how this works. So let's take a look at this game. Now, this game features a world swapping mechanic, so there's two sisters, and they each kind of have their own world, and it changes how the platforming works. They each have their own mechanics as well. So you can see here I'm controlling this little blonde one, and I can't swap worlds. There we go. So you got the blonde one, and then you got the kind of punker looking one. She's got a little kind of fireball attack. And they can kind of swap between them, and it affects all the background and everything in the world. I like how it kind of bounces between the two a little bit. That's interesting because the world is kind of the scary, intimidating looking world when you're playing as the cute, kind of pretty sister. And when you're the punk rock, badass sister, everything's like, as you can see, kind of happy and pretty. So what does that mean for the gameplay? Well, you got these little gems. Now I can't pick these up, but if I swap to the other character, now you see I can. So they each kind of have their own little platforming mechanics as well as their own little tricks to them for the way that their kind of abilities work. Now I've kind of remapped the controls a little bit because by default I'm using a 360 pad, so you have one button for the fireball type attack like this and a separate button for this jump. I have them switch to the same button, and manually I can swap between worlds, whereas by default you have to actually press one of the special jump buttons to swap, which is kind of a weird thing. I don't really like that too much. I'm probably wrong about that actually, and it doesn't actually work this way. But yeah, it occurs to me that now that there's actually a separate button for swapping between worlds, and I believe that that is usable on both of the two girls. So I'll have to double check that a little further. So even the enemies kind of swap, which is neat. I really like the aesthetic to it. As you can hear, the music changes as you go between the two, so I'll give you an idea of that. So this is the punk one. And then the kind of cute girl. So it's a pretty neat little platformer. Some of the later levels look like they would get probably pretty challenging. But I haven't had the chance yet to really see that. There we go. Going diagonal is kind of weird. For some reason on the 360 pad you cannot use the joystick for left and right. Left and right controls the... Okay, well now for some reason the right stick lets me move and the left stick is my camera. Whereas before I had nothing for left and right and I had to use the right stick for the camera. So I'm not sure what exactly is kind of going on there. But hey, because this feels like this would be a lot easier to do with the gamepad, with the controller. Sorry. These kind of unlock the little artwork things. There's little collectible things throughout this game, so that's pretty nice. Overall, the game so far has been pretty interesting. I've kind of had my eye on this game for a little while. The reason I'm covering it right now is it's actually on sale currently on Steam. You can buy it right now for $9.89. That runs until October 3rd. Now the reason that's kind of interesting is because that actually includes their first major DLC, which is called Rise of the Owlverlord. And that is kind of interesting to me because the main game is actually normally $14.99, plus the DLC obviously being separate. So you can actually pick this up right now cheaper with the first DLC than you could with the actual full game, which is a little odd. Made a mess up of that. It doesn't seem like you can drop down once you've gone up somewhere, which is a little unfortunate when I keep doing things like that. Doesn't make a huge difference, but every so often I kind of regret going up somewhere and not being able to drop back down simply. I'm not sure why you would set it up that way. Most platforming games, especially recent ones, do allow you to swap back down if you messed up and gone up through a platform. Especially since you can just jump through these, there's not really a reason to block you from doing so. So the platforming in this is, platforming in this has been pretty responsive so far, other than the lack of the analog making it kind of awkward to aim diagonally in some cases for me. But that I'm gonna double check after this video just to see if that is in fact actually the case, because I have a feeling that I am mistaken and you can use the analog. But I really love the look of the world. There's a lot kind of going on in the background. I love the swapping between. I mean, you get like that awesome little T-Rex skull thing with spine, and then it becomes like a little plant. And it morphs very nicely between the two, so it doesn't really look jarring like you would expect in some games. Don't fall to my death. Good. There we go. That's one level completed. I apparently missed a bunch of gems. I'm not really sure where. I probably just went right past them or something. Alright, well, I'm going to cut the footage here. I'm going to double check the controls to see if I can actually use the analog, and we'll be back to take more of a look in just 1 second. Alright, we're back. So I just swapped one of the buttons, and yes, you can use the analog. I'm not sure why it didn't work the first time I was doing this. I was kind of confused because the right stick was controlling something. So now that's considerably easier to do my little fancy jumps. So we'll play through this second level here, or this is the third level rather, to take a look a little bit further at this game before we call it quits. But I definitely recommend this game to anyone that is a fan of platforming. It's handles very, very nicely, very fluid. I haven't really had any instances where I've kind of died or anything like that and felt that it was me fighting the controls. It plays exceedingly well, and if you are a platforming fan, you kind of owe it to yourself to check out this game. This is an indie developer, so it's pretty impressive visually for an indie game. Usually when you hear indie, you tend to not think of very pretty graphics in a lot of cases. This is obviously an exception. The close-up, the character models aren't super pretty on the girls, but honestly, you're running around and moving so much, and the backgrounds are so delightful that I really am not even bothered by that at all. I mean, look at that. It's very, very gorgeous. I very much recommend this game to you guys. Little underwater section. I love the music switching too. It's very, very nice. It really gives you a sense that the characters are actually separate and not just the same. That's kind of neat. So the well's broken in one version. No secrets there. Oh, yeah, it would help if I remembered I have to open that. Does that hurt me? Yes, it does. Do I actually have a health bar? I'm not sure how I die from being hit. So far I've died from platforming. I haven't actually really had much of a problem with the enemies so far. I don't see a health bar anywhere. I assume maybe if I get hit while I'm flashing, I lose more life or something, and then I would just die. But this is the beginning of the game, so it's to be expected that it will not be particularly challenging at the moment. Poison? Oh, yes, that's poison. So, by this, ooh, secret, nice. Maybe that's what I missed in the last level then. Oh, okay. Balloons, yay. Everyone likes balloons. I guess I could have stayed on that and it would have carried me up. Yeah, this is definitely much, much more responsive with the analog to play with. There's not really a doubt in my mind that that's the preferred way. I tried playing this really briefly with keyboard, and no, you just no, don't play this with a keyboard. It's doable, like the controls aren't like completely awful, but not having the reactiveness of an analog, especially when you're trying to do these diagonal kind of jumps with this one, it really hurts you in the long run. You will have a very hard time on some of these later levels that I've seen. But yes, you probably have a pretty good idea by now if this is the game for you. I'm hoping it is. This is one that, like as I said, I've been watching it for quite a while now. And it's definitely worthy of your attention. Ooh, don't go the wrong way. How do I get up there? Oops. Okay, so yeah, just seems like getting hit by things generally just kills you. Not sure why that seems like it's a surprise, but yeah. One thing that's nice is that you can take advantage of their abilities if you're already in midair, so if you do mess up and just run off an edge like an idiot, you can kind of correct that and save yourself. I thought I would have to break that. Oh. That was just poor luck right there. Okay, great. Alright, well now you're kind of seeing me sucking at platformers a little bit. So it's interesting that it keeps your status between lives, so man, all the things that I've collected do stay collected, which is nice. Oh, come on, what is going on? Why am I having such a hard time at this? One thing that's kind of neat too is that if you do hit an enemy, it looks like you can redo your fireball thing. I don't really know what the names of these attacks are. I think it's dash and twirl are the official names. Oh, I see. So I can't use my dash attack when I'm underwater. So if I want to get through this, I'm going to have to wait for this to go down. There we go. I haven't had the chance yet to get far enough for the DLC content, the Rise of the Owlbear, but it's normally $3.99, and so $3.99 for the DLC combined with the $14.99 for the base game normally. You can't really go wrong with $9.89 for all of that together. So there you go, I missed some more gems, but there you have it. 6 deaths. I suck terribly this time. But that's the end of our look at Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams. So hope you've enjoyed it. And don't forget to like and comment below. I've also got a Facebook page if any of you are interested. It's simply Wormeck Gaming on Facebook. So I will see you guys next time.